National champions from 29 different countries have gathered to battle it out for the 2022 World Singles Champion of Champions title. This year the event has been held here at the Naenae Bowling Club in Wellington, New Zealand. Naenae boasts 3 beautiful Maniatoto greens and 1 covered artificial, which means that play can happen here in rain, hail or shine. Naenae also plays host to world-class hospitality facilities, and this ensures that not only do players enjoy their bowling here, but are also well fed and watered whilst doing so. Hi, I'm Alex Reid, and here we are undercover at the Naenae Bowling Club, the hosts for the 2022 World Champion of Champions singles. This week we've got 46 different athletes competing, and each of them is a national singles champion. For some of them, like the Kiwis, Taylor Bruce and Kelvin Scott, that means they've won an open singles championship, whereas others have had to win their club, regional and then progress to the national event to be here today. As I said before, the event goes for the week. The first 5 days are section play and then 2 days of post-section, and every game takes place over 2 sets of 9 ends with a 3 tie break if required. We have an incredible 29 countries from all over the globe, with athletes playing their bowls everywhere from Botswana to Norfolk Island. The men will be playing in 2 sections, Section A and Section B, whereas the women participate in 1 section. And now we'll have a look at results for today.
And here we are at the completion of day 4 now, I think, and I had Brett and he gave up on me, and I had David and he gave up on me, so now I've got Mr. Steve Beel sitting here to my right. And before we get started with the results, Steve, I just wanted to get from you, what's your position in this event?
I'm just down here to assist Chris Lander. Chris is the GM of this whole event, and he's done all the planning, but it's been his baby for quite some months, and just every now and again in events like this you need a bit of a break, so I'm sort of the 2IC, I suppose, and a bowl's brain just in case something goes wrong.
Absolutely, and sort of we'll talk about today. So you were away for a couple of the challenging days we had, Steve. We had all the seasons, all 5 seasons, it felt like. Yes. And there's only meant to be 4 in a couple of days. So how did today go, do you think?
I went well. It's the weather was a wee bit challenging for some of the players, but it was a great leveler, and it was just some of the, you'll see later on with the scores, like some of the first sets were a bit wayward, and then they got their line and length, and instead of trying to fight the wind, they just let the bowl do the work.
So. Like as an event runner, I suppose, and we talk about Wellington being windy, is there ever a situation where you would go, actually it's too windy outside, we're going to bring you in?
Absolutely, and that's what I was mainly checking today all through, that like if it became unfair, like it wasn't huge gusts, it was pretty consistent sort of breeze, so you can make those sort of adjustments with your game, but where you get a bowl and it's just bang, she's cleaned out.
Jacks are moving by
Jacks
themselves.
are moving, mats are going everywhere. That becomes unfair, and the beauty of this place is, it was going to be easy to bring it inside. So
absolutely.
And we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, I'll ask you about tomorrow at the end of the end of the show, Steve. I'm saving that one for later. It's in my back pocket, but we may as well move on to the results of today. So we're going to start with men's Section A, round 10, because we're up to round 10, and we can see there it was the first game in the morning. There was sort of some interesting ones going on, but like the Falkland Islands and Zambia, for example, between Mercer and Alexander, went to a tie-break there. And we've got some highlights from that game as well. You can see there, I think the Zambian is with the speckled bowls, Steve and viewers, and the Falkland Islands is with the blue ones. And you can see there what we're talking about, the wind. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 bowls to adjust in, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, like with the sort of wind, you're going to lose 1 or 2. But you just got to fire them down the same line and with the same weight. Good things would happen normally.
Absolutely. I think I've certainly noticed with the slight lack of rain, the greens are beginning to speed up a little bit. Yeah. And with a bit of luck, they'll be a little bit quicker again by the time we get to finals day.
Yeah, they were pretty dry today. So with that wind that we had last night, it actually dried the greens out, and they were, I thought, quite fair today.
We see there what else is around here. Is there anything else here that sticks out to you, Steve?
I've seen that the Fijian guy play. Like he carried on in that round for a good win, so he was quite impressive. Absolutely. As was the Scottish guy.
Yeah, as we scroll down now to round 11, and we see there Well, for me, if we have a look at that before we get to the highlights, Sam Tolchard was taken right to the death, really, by
Yes.
Nichols from Cyprus.
And he had a chance to.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. And we've also got the Samoan man played South Africa there and had a good straight sets win. We see some highlights from that. Samoa playing with the blue bowls and South African with the stripy ones.
Yeah.
I think
They're
some
quite
good.
bright, those the stripy ones, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I love the stripy bowls, Steve. Get as many colours as possible. Look
Got
at
a
that.
set of those myself, so that's all right.
And we saw there in that last highlight, the jack bounced up the rink.
Doesn't happen often.
Yeah, have you seen it happen much?
No, you don't. It's well, you get the skips telling you to be round the back because the bowls don't go up the front, but sometimes it does. But the other one interesting in that particular round was Scotty from New Zealand. The Singapore guy played very well.
Yes, it was a great
Scotty
game.
had to dig deep there.
Absolutely. As we scroll down now to round 12, the final round for the A section in the men, and again we saw there two tiebreakers. Thankfully for all the Kiwis watching, Scotty got up against
he had to dig
Scotland.
deep. He was well up in the first set, and then as he said, he was 5-0 up, and the next thing he's 11-5 or 12-5 down, was it? Yeah, 12-5.
Absolutely. And here we have some highlights of the game between Botswana and Samoa, and I've been really impressed with the man from Botswana. They came here, I saw them practicing on the Friday, and I think our greens were a little bit faster than what they used to back home.
I think so, yes.
But
Quite a bit.
Yeah, we're at the point where an adjustment has definitely been made, and a dangerous player.
Yep. Well, they generally say it's easier to come from the slow greens and adjust to the fast greens as opposed to going the other way.
And some good bowls there. This one
Ooh.
at some pace.
And with some luck.
We see there also, I mentioned it yesterday, but I'll mention it again. It's been great to have such a host of competent umpires and markers here, Steve.
Oh, yeah. Michael's got a huge team, and they're all, level 2 umpires?
At a minimum, I believe.
At a minimum,
yeah.
Some of them are world champs umpires. So, yeah, we're very lucky and very blessed that they're giving up their time to make this the event that it is.
Absolutely. As we move now to the standings for the men's section A, we'll just have a look and see how things are sitting. Remembering there's that bold line is like the cut line, Steve. Would you like to just explain how qualifying for this event works?
The winner of the section automatically goes through to the semi-final, and 2 and 3 of both sections, the players that finish second and third, play off in a virtual quarterfinal.
Get through to the semis.
Yeah, and then the winners of those games go and play, in this case, if Scotty hangs on, but as we know, there's a big game
There's
tomorrow.
a big game tomorrow, yeah.
Third round. Scotty's playing Tolchard from England, so that could be a winner-take-all to get into the semi-final sort of match.
Potentially get that bye through, and we see there, if we look sort of from 4th all the way down to 8th, there's half a chance for any of those
all
to
those got a
leapfrog
chance.
into
It depends
third
who's
place.
drawing who and who turns up tomorrow.
Absolutely, it's going to be an exciting day for sure on the greens. I'm looking forward to coming along and having a look. We're only a third of the way through as we now move to men's section B. Remembering there's sort of 3 sections in this event. There's 2 for the men, 1 for the women. So
men's section B.
Men's section B, and the game of the round for me was the first one up between the defending champion Schreiner and Herbert from USA. Went all the way to a tie-break.
Yeah, I saw a wee bit of that, and it was an interesting old game.
Yeah, here's Herbert here. He's with the speckled bowls. I think Schreiner and him have had a couple of meetings before at these events, Steve, was the vibe I got.
Oh, okay.
And,
I caught the tiebreaker of this, and it was in the last couple of ends, and it came down to the tactics, the ability to throw the jack, and when the end, the US guy was playing short, or mat up short. When Schreiner got the jack, he went ditch to ditch.
He just made that difference.
Yeah.
He certainly, Schreiner has had a couple of scares at this event, but for me, that's just a result of the sets format.
Yeah.
You're always going to have a couple of stressy times. But other than that, looking like the one to beat here, I think.
Certainly in this section, he is absolutely. Although undefeated still is, I think we'll see later on. I think the Welsh guys.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep, that didn't quite go as planned for the US guy, and it's something to say about it.
And we see there only one other game went to the tiebreaker. It was Davis from Jersey winning that. He's been playing well too. So we scroll down to round 11. and have a look at some of these results. One of the ones that went to a tie-break, the Canada and Namibia game there, Steve, and that looks like a game of two halves, 15-1 in the first and 12-4 in the second set.
16 all. Yeah.
Maybe we can get them back out there to play a first to five.
Yeah, 21 up. Well, it was sort of kind of 5 in the tie-break.
Yeah, I suppose so. And we see some good bowls to the Namibian there with the speckled bowls, and the Canadian with the light blue solid ones, and good bowls from both players, but certainly based on the scores at different times.
Oh, yeah. But that's the way you can sort of lose with the quicker greens and that wind. Very easy if you're just missing your line. It's not hard to make it look very average.
Absolutely. And anything else in round 11 that sticks out for you, Steve?
Well, it was just James from Wales. He was he's still undefeated, but taken to a tie-break there, so he's hanging in.
Absolutely. As we scroll down to the final round now of men's section B, and the one I watched, and the only one that went to a tie-break, and I watched this game, was the Cook Islands versus Hong Kong. A great game, and a young talent is Uppy Dow.
Yeah, no, he can play. He's good.
And we see here the Hong Kong playing with the white bowls, and the Cook Islander playing with the blue, and it went to a tie-break. And this was the tie-break here, Cook Islander holding 2, guy from Hong Kong, bang, bang. You'd be thinking that was pretty safe, wouldn't you, Steve?
Yeah, and he goes and draws it cold.
How classy is that there from the Cook Islander. I think we get to see the last bowl from Hong Kong. Let it go. He would have known it was wide the moment he let it go there, I think.
Yeah, because that breeze was coming the other way. It was always going to hold it.
Yeah,
so.
you can just see the bowls push, and a good win there for the Cook Islander. I think he played, I've been impressed with his play.
Yep, and a young guy too.
Yep.
So he goes good.
As we move on to the ladder now for men's section B, and we see there the Cook Islander we've just spoken about. He's only had 2 losses, Steve. He's in contention at the moment.
It certainly is. And big game round 2 tomorrow, I think it is.
That's right.
Trainer and James. So that was possibly going to be it for who's straight through to the semi.
Neither of them know what losing feels like at this event, do they?
No.
Although one of them will find out in a, in a couple of
both
games.
have been taken to tiebreakers, so they've had a wee sweat on it. So
if we look down a little bit at on the one column, there's 1, 2, 3 on 5, 2 on 4. Even people like the USA and the Hong Kong representative on 4 wins. If everything falls their way tomorrow, they're thinking they're in with half a chance. It could happen.
Yep.
So there we have it. That's section B for the men, and we'll move on now to the women's section.
Yep.
Remembering there's only one section of the women because there's slightly fewer of them, and I think 6 qualifiers. And we see round 10, Anne Nunez has been playing really well. She lost her first game in round 10 for the women there. Just have a nosy.
Yeah, there we go.
And a tie break, and I think we have some highlights from that game, and a good win there from Jones from Norfolk Island.
Yep.
As we see, there's Jones there. Brilliant stuff. And Anne Nunez, if we just look at her uniform, I think it's potentially my favourite bowling strip. Steve?
Full flag with the bald eagle, is it?
And a very angry bald eagle, just staring.
Yeah.
I'd be intimidated. I'd have a go. You can have the game. That's fine. And we see there just 2 other tie breaks. Wales and Malaysia, and the Cook Islands and the Falkland Islands there.
Taylor Bruce had from New Zealand having the bye, or the default.
Absolutely, and going well as we scroll down to round 11 here, and there were 2 tie breaks, but the really big result here for me is we saw Branfield from England defeat the Australian representative.
Yeah.
It wasn't a straight set, it was 10-9 and 9-9, but a good win there for Branfield from England. She came here 4-bowl singles champion and 2-bowl singles champion, and was one of the favourites for the tournament. Has had probably a forgettable event so far, but shown her class, I think, in this game.
Yeah, she sort of played with it, and with I think we'll see a wee bit later on, more than a little slice of luck.
Yeah, 2 slices of heaven.
Yes.
A great shot it was to watch. Certainly,
Yeah. Well,
and a roller coaster of emotion. Here we go.
Here we go. Here, bang off
bang.
that one, straight through, picks it up 2.
Happy days. I wouldn't say sorry.
certainly, Chrysanthemum would be thinking of that, ripped a 90. So it's,
absolutely. And we see what else there was. So 2 tiebreakers: Namibia and Falkland Islands, Malaysia, and USA. So Anne Nunez went to another tiebreak.
Yep.
Two tiebreakers today and a couple of losses for her. Anything else here that sticks out to you, Steve? For round 11?
I saw a bit of the Bruce Thomas game from Wales, and that was high quality actually. Very good bowls played by both.
Right.
And with Taylor sneaking in there.
As we scroll down to round 12 now, and only one tie-break game, the game between the Netherlands and Ireland in a close game. We see 11-7 in the first set to Ireland and 8-6 in the second, and the tie-break went Ireland's way 6-0. The lady from the Netherlands has had some great matches at this event. We saw earlier on she played the Australian and beat her in the first set, lost in the second, only lost it on a tie-break. And here we have a couple of highlights from that match. Believe the...
Looks like the wind got those other ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, you can see it. It was gusty in the morning, I felt, Stephen, then a little bit better as the day progressed.
Yeah.
A couple of good bowls there, right on that centre line. Yeah, and I think I was told by one of the umpires they were going to charge us for wasting their chalk, which I think is probably indicative of how good these bowlers are. They get a lot of touches.
But I thought we supplied the chalk.
I actually don't know, Steve.
They
said they were going to invoice us for it.
Oh, fair enough.
Maybe we do. Look at that for a trail.
Oh, super sweet.
It's gone well. We see again a lot of jack movement in this game.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things from the countries on the slower greens coming to this. The positive for them is that it's unlikely they're going to miss short, Steve.
No.
You know, they're not going to miss short. They're always going to be effective if they do sort of let it go with a little bit less
And
focus.
on that particular green too, that particular hand we're seeing coming up, that was the tighter hand. The wind was holding it there a bit. So
for sure. As we move now to the standings for the women's section. Last but not least, and we see again a reminder, it's the top 6 that qualify in the standings.
Yeah. And the top 2 in this particular go into the semis, and 3, 4, 5 and 6 will fight out the quarterfinal.
Yes.
And the big game tomorrow is New Zealand versus US, and there's only one game, one win in it. So if Nunes gets over Taylor Bruce tomorrow, then
should get that bye through potentially.
Could change who gets through, because it's looking like Krasanik will certainly form one of the semi-finals, just based on the draw, because she's got a bye and playing one of the lesser lights. But you know, he can get tripped up, but just on form and based on,
you'd expect her to go
straight through. So that I think it's first round tomorrow. It's going to be a big game.
Absolutely.
So.
And we see there,
and there's a few in contention to make up that 3 to 6.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be big matchups tomorrow, and I think it'll be interesting to see. And it always is intriguing to watch the players sort of from 7 down to 10 who are in with a chance to make that top 6. They will be playing players who might not be in with a chance.
Yeah.
The pressure's not on those ones, is it?
No, and they start playing for pride, and and maybe a wee bit more relaxed and trying a shot that they wouldn't normally, and it comes off. It can be frustrating.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great day.
Oh yeah, it's going to be 3 big rounds of bowls tomorrow.
And just before we sign off, I'd just like to remind the viewers that Thursday and Friday, which are the last 2 days, we're going to do a full broadcast of the games played. We will be able to use all of our cameras and have a couple of commentators
and commentary. That's you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, unless I get deposed.
Deposed. Yeah, but it's certainly 2 of the quarterfinals will be 2 of the 4 quarterfinals.
Yeah,
and then 2 in the semi-finals.
Yeah, so we'll communicate that out, and it should be a great couple of days. With the bowls,
and we'll be delaying the start so that with screen and screen, so everyone will be able to watch the main game, so to speak, and then with the other game inset, and then away we go when it goes. Yeah.
My final question for you, Steve, and I said I'd say it at the beginning of the show. What's your pick for tomorrow's weather situation? What do you reckon is going to happen?
Well, my understanding is if you say that the weather tomorrow will be the same as today, you're pretty much 50% right.
Okay. So that's your call.
That's my call.
Well, fair enough. That works. Thank you very much for joining me in this show, Steve. And what we're going to do now, we've been able to clip together a number of highlights to watch at the end. So with that in mind, I suppose sit back, relax and enjoy some highlights from today's play.
Enjoy.
I can turn to. And I